City have lost their first Premier League game of the season. Our first game in the Premier League in 12 months. So I'm not going to sit there and pretend things are abysmal, but that was an abysmal performance, an embarrassing performance, if we're being honest. Bournemouth could have easily won that game about 4-5-1, and it would not have been not have been undeserved. They were by far the better side in this game of football. They ran more than us. They worked harder than us. They're more creative than us. They were more direct than us, and they planned the game better and did better than us. Absolutely. Look, if you want me to sit here and slag off Manchester City Football Club, it isn't going to happen because they generally don't deserve that. But I will slag off that performance today, and I will absolutely call some of the decisions out of it, in hindsight, looking back at it, that it felt like we could have done so much more. You cannot approach this game without the big asterisks next to it in terms of the caveats. I get that. I get the injuries. I get the fact that so many players are unfit right now, and I get that we're sort of being forced into decisions that we don't want to take. I get that. But there are still things that were crying out to be changed for an awful long time of that game. You can just see that this game was absolutely crying out for changes earlier on. It was unacceptable to be that poor on the pitch and unacceptable to be that poor off it. Pep is a godlike genius. That guy knows more in his little finger than we will ever forget about football. I understand that, but no one is perfect, and everyone makes mistakes every now and then. And it was a shit show of a game. It absolutely was. You could tell that so many things were wrong from the beginning. Like, it's always, and let's be honest, we've been deserved this for a long time. This has been coming for an awful long time. We've been getting away for an awful lot of things with this Manchester City side. We've been getting away because our defensive structure's been absolutely abysmal. There's parts of our game that look really undercooked. Our press is diabolical. It has been for a long time, and we've been living off quality and going forward. And I do feel like this is sort of our comeuppance. I understand the circumstances. I understand some of it's inevitable. But I feel like we have to accept some responsibility here as a team and say, this is just not good enough. We can't sit there and pretend that Bournemouth outplaying Man City is good enough, even with injuries. Even if we have to sort of compromise and change how we play and sit deep a little bit and try and sort of just stop the counters or whatever. I don't mind if we have to change how we play. But we can't be that open. We can't be that poor. And we can't be that bad at reacting to it because it's been building to this moment, and we might be okay when everyone's back fit. I get that once again, but this is a poor display that absolutely deserves calling out, and I think it does. Once again, I'm not going to tell you life as a City fan is terrible. It isn't. Before people say you're ungrateful so-and-so, there's no one more grateful than me. But there's no one, I think there's no harm in ever being honest about what we've just witnessed. And there are some massive fucking alarm bells and red flags going off as you watch that game because we deserve that. We deserve that today. And it shows big, serious issues in this team. When I look through that team today, look, I go through it, and the immediate problem is in central midfield. It's so undynamic. I love Ilkay Gundogan, but that 7.2 statistically there is just not true by any stretch. We were so much worse than that. Gundogan is just struggling. He's just struggling. He really is. It's one of those things. It's one of those things where you've got a bunch of players who are just not gelling together at all. Bournemouth were great. We were shite. And it's one of those things where we have to accept that we could have done more. We absolutely could have done more. You see towards the end where they found a bit of intensity. Gundogan is too slow in midfield right now. I love the guy. But he got an assist. He got an assist towards the end, which was nice. But they ran us ragged in midfield. And Kovacic looked lost. And then Kyle Walker. Oh, Kyle, mate. I found myself thinking during that game, I wish he actually left a year and a half ago when he could have had the chance, because, look, I thought if he'd stayed, he'd been a perfectly good squad player. I didn't know that he would go on to sort of try and undo his reputation as a City legend by abject performances, which I don't mind a player dropping off. I don't. It's not always their fault. But obviously all the off the stuff pitch as well. It's just made him very unlikable for the past year and a half because he just comes across awful in so many ways. And you watch him today be so abject and so bad. And I'm thinking, why did he stay? Could he not have just disappeared? Can he not have just gone? Can he not have just moved on? And saved us all this pain and dislike And it's one of those things, they're so done, and we need to move on from him right now. And to be honest, my only issue today is that we just did not react to it. And maybe we didn't have the chance to. But I just don't buy that you can't give these lads a go, these young lads on the bench. Like when Rico came on, the energy went up another level. And Jeremy Doku, got to give him credit, and he might not be fully fit, but Doku fucking rinsed him when he came on. That is the balls you need there. There was a leader in the team. Doku wanted to make things happen. Rico wanted to make things happen. Fair fucking play to Doku, man. Fair play. That is some balls there. And I understand De Bruyne is probably not fit. But look, even when he came on against Spurs, Jacob Wright tried to make things happen. And I just don't buy that we would have been any worse with Jacob Wright on the pitch, or McAtee on the pitch, or Nico Ryan on the pitch than some of those midfielders today. We need to find a way to get a little bit of energy and dynamism. And I'm sorry, but we are so open on the counter. It has to change. It has to find a way to sort it out. And we can show towards the end that there can be intensity there. Maybe Rico and Doku brought that. And I don't know, you know, if how much of... Look, a lot of this is down to injuries. I get it. A lot of this is down to the players. But we've got to adapt to it, man. We've got to adapt to it because it felt like we were so open for the counter constantly, and there was so much more running at us. And we just never fixed it. We never even attempted to fix it. There was no changes. And we do need more from Phil. Phil had a couple of nice moments, but we need more from him. Haaland had hardly any feeling at all. They missed a couple of chances at the end. Josko again comes up with a big goal for us. Ake looked unfit. Akanji, yeah, he was there. Ederson had a big game. Look, I am not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. But, like, it's one of those things where we've got to be honest about ourselves. We've got to be honest with ourselves and say that isn't good enough. We will probably be fine. And my attitude is get to January. But it's a humbling today. And we needed it, man. We needed that humbling. We need to make some drastic changes. We need a Happy Flowers moment. We need, like, Gvardiol was brave enough to drop Cancelo and Kyle Walker for Rico Lewis a couple of years ago. And that made some big changes. And I don't doubt that these players are trying. But Guardiola needs to be brave enough to admit that some of these aren't working right now. And until the other players come back, that we probably need to make some sacrifices to those senior players. Gundo's a legend, man. He is, but he just doesn't look right. It doesn't look right now. Bernardo worked hard. Kovacic's looked a little bit lost. We need a bit of energy there. And I'm not telling you we're terrible. I'm not telling you we're not going to win anything this season. I'm not telling you that they all should be ashamed. But I am telling you that was just not good enough. And from all aspects of the team, the organisation, the structure, the defensive structure, individual performances, apart from one or two players who can hold their head high. Ederson in particular, some big saves. But Pep, look, come on, mate. You should react to it a bit more. I'm not going to tell you, teach you how to suck eggs, Pep Guardiola, the best in the world. But you're far too slow to react to that. Be a little bit less conservative with the young players. Seriously. Because they deserve it right now. Some of these senior players don't. Like Rico, I know he's more experienced than some of these young players. But, yeah. I don't get it, man. I don't get why you can sit there and ignore it. Like, I don't get it. Like, guys, this isn't going to be the longest video because I need to get my head around it. And I also want to go out with my family. Like, we're going out in a minute to go see a fucking bonfire. I'm going to throw this memory on the on a bonfire, if I'm being honest, because we need to. But that was not a good enough performance today. We need to be better than that. We need to be more responsive. We need to be more pragmatic. I don't give a shit if we sat back and just fucking flooded the channels if we needed to stop Bournemouth creating anything. I don't really care if we have to sort of play a different way. I don't care, but we can't be that bad. We can't be. I'm going to take a little bit of time to digest this, and I'll do another video tomorrow morning. For now, though, I'm going to go enjoy some time with my family. That was not good enough today. Bournemouth were really good, by the way, but we played into their hands, and we've got to be better than that. In a bit, guys. Bye-bye.